So in this quiz review, I'll be going over this question, which states that which ABA ethical rule would prohibit bribing a judge? We see here that there are six possible choices, five of which are right, and one of which is wrong. I want to go through each of these individually and give a quick explanation to why each is wrong or right. Now, the first one is Rule 3.6, which deals with trial publicity. Essentially, it states that a lawyer who is either currently active or has been active in the past in an investigation or trial has a responsibility or an obligation to not put out information, not release information pertaining to the case that will have a substantial effect on the outcome. Now, while this does deal with a lawyer having an effect on a case, it does not talk about actions like bribing or directly working to influence an outcome. And so we can get rid of this one. It just deals with releasing information that can have an effect. So nothing about bribing. We can get rid of this one. The next one, of course, we just saw it on there, 1.6, which deals with confidentiality. And this one also does not talk about bribing or directly aiming to influence a decision and outcome. It says that a lawyer um, has this confidential information that deals with his or her client that should not be disclosed to the public unless, of course, the client consents to this. There's nothing here about bribing or directly influencing a case. It's just about keeping information confidential. So we can get rid of that rule, that option. The next one is Rule 2.1, which if we go here, it states that basically a lawyer shall be professional, um, exercise good judgment, and just give candid advice to his or her client. Nothing here again about bribing or directly influencing how a judge or jury may decide. It's just about how to be a good advisor to your client. So we can get rid of this option as well. Going down the list, we have 3.6 covered, 1.6 covered, 2.1 covered, and now we're at 3.5, which states that a lawyer shall not seek to influence a judge, juror, etc., by means prohibited by law. And so, as we'll see later, this is the correct answer. While making bribes is not explicitly mentioned, obviously, seeking to influence a judge, what a bribe is essentially is something you give to somebody else to kind of get them on your side, which is a direct way for a lawyer to influence a judge. And so when the question asks us which rule prohibits bribing a judge, it's essentially asking us which rule prohibits influencing a judge. And that is exactly what Rule 3.5 states. Now, before we pick this one and quit it and move on to the next question, I want us to see exactly why the last two options, 3.3 and 4.1, are both wrong. 3.3, all it talks about is a lawyer shall not make false statements to a court, to a judge, or a jury. A lawyer shall not fail to correct a false statement. A lawyer shall not stand by on the sidelines while false statements are being made to a court. Nothing here is dealing with influencing a judge or jury. Nothing talks about bribing them. And so, like the previous rules, we can discard this one and move on to the next one. 4.1 talks about truthfulness in statements. And basically, it's kind of similar to 3.3. It talks about how lawyers shall not make false statements, but this is more towards third parties. And like I've mentioned with the other options, there's nothing here in this rule that talks about bribing or directly influencing an outcome. And so if we take away Rule 4.1, that leaves us with only one option. 3.6 is wrong, 1.6 is wrong, 2.1 is wrong, 3.3 is wrong, 4.1 is wrong. That leaves 3.5. And so if we come back to it, just to make sure we have the right answer. Once again, a lawyer shall not seek to influence a judge, juror, etc. While bribing is not mentioned, through process of elimination, we have this rule left. And we can see here that since bribing is a direct influence, Rule 3.5 prohibits that. We've not got these other options. 3.5 is left. We can pick it, know that we have it right, be confident in our answer, and move on to the next question.